Hey guys, so today we're going to be coding a navigation bar in HTML and CSS. So the first thing you're going to want to do is create a new folder. I'm just going to call it navbar and go into Microsoft Visual Studio Code and just create a new file. So the first thing you're going to do is type in this. And what this line does is it tells Visual Studio Code that this is a HTML file. And the next thing I'm going to do is File, click Save As, go over to my desktop where I made the folder, and I'm going to call this Demo Nav, and make sure I put HTML. Nope. And just in case, I'm going to put HTML there as well. I save this. I see the colors updated, and now it's a HTML file. So the next thing you want to do is type HTML, and you just give yourself a to work with. Now, it's a bit of boilerplate code. You want to start with the head. In here is what it's going to say in the tab of your web page, and this is where you link your style sheet. So we don't have a style sheet just yet, so we're going to leave that, but we are going to put title, and then I'm just going to put demo nav. Okay, so the rest of your code is going to be done in the body. And this is where all your main code content will be and your main web page content. So the first thing I want to do is create a separate section called nav. And in here, you're going to want to have an unordered list. And within the unordered list, you're going to have your list. And this is where you put all your links. So I did that bit wrong. So now this is where you're going to put your pages. So first off, you're going to start with A to say there is a link, href, and then equals, and then you're going to put in your page link. So I'm just going to put home.html. Then close that, open that, and then you want to put what you want the navigation to say. So I want this to be linked as home. Now, I don't have a home file, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right here, and I'm just going to copy over all this boilerplate code to here, and I'm going to rename this file, save as, and I'm just going to call this home. That should be an equal, that's why it's red. Like that. And then now, the first navigation bar has been created, and you just repeat this for as many buttons as you want. So an easy way to do that is just to do Control C. Let's do 5. So you can just, this is where you'll put the name of your HTML document. Here is where you put what you want it to say. So for example, we can have a contact us. You can have a services. You can have a my page. What else? What about products page? Something like that. Just so this is where you put what you want to say. So you want this to be contact us. Services. I want that to be my page. And this will be products. Now, this is all you're really going to write for your HTML. The next thing you need is the CSS. So you're going to go here, and for the CSS, you don't need to put anything. You can just start off with, say, nav, and you're going to want to do the curly bracket. Open that up, and I'm just going to quickly save that to the folder. So desktop navbar, and I'm just going to save this as nav style, and then you can go here and select CSS. There you go. So this is a style sheet, and what you're going to do back in here is right here in the head above the title, you're going to write link, because we're linking the two pages. Relationship, it's a style sheet. And where can we find it? We can find it in, what did I call it? Nav style.css. And then we want to close that off. And that is all of your HTML. Now, I'm going to split this just so it's a bit easier to see. So what you're going to want to put in here is kind of the decorations for it. So if we open up the page so far, all we really have is this, which if that's what you want, then there's your navigation bar, but we're going to try and make a horizontal bar that's got colors, some hovers, stuff like that, just to make it look a bit nicer. So let's get back into here. So for my navigation bar, I'm going to have padding top, and I'm going to have it as 5 pixels. Also going to have a padding bottom. Let's have that as 5 pixels. Text. Oops. Align. Now you're going to want to have this centered, just so all of the links that we've made are going to go along the middle of the page. And the background color, I'm going to have as, just put RGB, and then you can open a bracket. See, I want, there's probably 255, 255, 255. Now, the great thing with Visual Studio Code is if you just click this color here, slide over, you can actually select which color you want. So I kind of want like a dark black gray sort of color. And then we're going to have a font size. So let's start off with about, I'm going to say like 150%. Okay. We're also going to need to have in from the nav the unordered list and the list. We're going to have to display that inline, which just means it's going to be displayed horizontally across the bar, and it's going to fit inside of our navigation bar. And I'm going to give that some padding, which just means some space of, let's say, 10 pixels. Okay, so let's see what that looks like right now. I'm going to save this page. We're going to go back to our navigation bar folder, demo nav, and this is what we've got so far. So we've made our list go from the corner here, I think it's still got the old page like that, and we've now added this bar, and it is a working page. If we click home, it will take us to home, and of course you can change all these colors as well. So let's change the buttons a bit, let's change the colors, and let's actually have something more visible to the user when you're hovering over the icon. So back we go here. So what we're going to add is a anchor hover. And open that in the curly brackets. So what we're going to have here is the color. Oh, sorry, American. The color that you want to be displayed when you hover over it. So again, if I just click that, wait for the color to generate, I'm going to want it to be a much lighter color. I'm going to want a border style, so adding a border and everything. I want my border, oops. One thing you can't forget to do is your semicolons. Border, and then style, I'm going to do that as solid. I'm going to have my border, nope, width, I'm going to have that as about 10 pixels. Border color, just put that, and then use the color picker. I'm going to want that to be slightly darker. Just try like that. And then just add a bit of padding so everything has a bit of space. So let's do a top and bottom padding. So we've got padding top, about 10 pixels, and a padding bottom of about 10 pixels. Now, one thing I'm also going to do is a link, and I'm going to remove the text decoration, which in the page we have is this underline, just so it looks a bit nicer, neater. So we're going to have text decoration, and we're just going to put none. And one thing I also want to do is I want to change the color of the link. So I want that to be, I think, just white. So if I just type in white, Microsoft Visual Studio Code knows what to do with that. So if we just save that, we can go back onto this page, and if we just refresh, now we have this border, which needs to be filled in. I made it looking nicer. And as we can see, the text decoration is gone, the color has changed. Now this remains purple, but when hovered over, changes color. Now the reason it does this is by default, the visited links are purple, and all you have to do to change that is go back into your CSS, visited, curly brackets, and let's make that, let's add this again, and let's do it as a lighter kind of grey color. Save that, refresh, and it changes to like a grey color, so you know it's been visited. Now, the border so far doesn't look too great. It hasn't quite got what we really, or what I'm at least hoping for. So now we're just going to want to edit that in the CSS. So let's go to hover. Background color, let's have that just another black like that. And go back here, refresh. That's different color. Might be, see how that does it. Refresh. And there you go. So obviously this doesn't look most amazing website ever. Of course, it takes a lot of fidgeting around getting what you want it to look like. You can round the borders as well if that's something you're interested in doing. So all you're going to want to do is go into hover, border radius, let's say about 5 pixels, maybe. See what that looks like. And there you go, you have a rounded edge. Now with CSS, it is a lot of just trying different things until you kind of get what you want it to have. So if you want to have different colors, different borders, of course you can change a lot of things, text color, you can add images in if you want, but this is just a very basic bog standard navigation bar that you can add to your own websites and just mess around with the color schemes, mess around with different types of borders. If anything, you can have them blended with the background, and so it just looks like the square here the background color is. So if we do that, it'll be the border color we want to change, and our navigation bar is 5656. So if we just change that, press save, then you can't really see it. The radius kind of gives it off a little bit. So let's just pretend that doesn't exist for a little bit, and then comment that out. Save that. Back here. Refresh. So it is just the color like that. And you can just change the color of the text, the font of the text, change the background color of the website. But this is what just a navigation bar would look like. Yeah, anyway, I hope that was helpful and I hope you guys enjoyed. Oh, also another thing I wanted to show you guys is just to make things a bit easier, what you can do is with the folder that you created, you can just drag that into here, add photo to workspace. Yes. And that's gonna, in your workspace, have all the documents you have in your folder just for you to be able to open and look at. So if you've got different image files and everything, they'd want to be stored in this place, and it can just make it a bit easier for your workflow. But yeah, anyway, I hope that was helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, feel free to comment them. And yeah, that's all. Have a good day.